Yo, what's up, Andrew? Augie Dog, welcome. Give me one moment here. I'm getting everything all set up. Luis, welcome. O, welcome. Andrew, you excited about the card today? Wait, there we go. Yo, what's up, Dragon Boy? Malachi, welcome. Wealthstead Hacks, welcome. How are you all today? Andrew, are you excited about the card? Who you got in the main event? I know we talked about it already, but it's a big one. Strickland, huh? He needs it. He needs it for sure. Ice, welcome. Ace, however you pronounce that, welcome. I've been doing good, Malachi. How about you? Dragon Boy, my life is good. I'm sick, though. I don't know if you guys can tell. I was originally not going to stream this weekend. I actually woke up yesterday without much of a voice. But today it seems okay. I think Fluffy's going to win, Andrew. I think Fluffy's going to win. We'll see, though. To your name, welcome. This is my first time trying to multi-stream in a while. So I'm active two places right now. I have about 10 to 100K I like invested. Where do you suggest putting it? Hey, thanks for liking the live. So, is it Ace or Ice? Either way, the you have to think about multiple things. So, number one, it's a budget, making sure that you have your budget taken care of. So, let's assume that that is Ace. All right. Um, from there, though, the first goal that you need is an emergency fund. I think you need 12 months of basic living expenses. What are your do you have an emergency fund? Because I think you need 12 months of basic living expenses. All right, so you already have that. All right, so what's the goal of this money? All right, what's up, Winslow? You got to think about what the goal of your money is as well. And the reason for that, you're going to invest differently for education than you will, I'm sorry, than you for a home, than you will for a vacation, than you will for grow it long term. All right, so when you say long term, you got to be more specific than that because retirement gives you more freedom with your investing than shorter time horizon goals, right? So if you're thinking about retirement, maybe you're a little bit more, what's up, Thomas? You're a little bit more comfortable with the volatility in the market because you know you have more time for it to recover. So on a scale from 1 to 5, Ian, welcome. Carloy, welcome. 1 meaning you're not comfortable with the wild swings in the market, and a 5 meaning you're very comfortable with the wild swings of the market. Where would you put yourself? Vortex, welcome. Always commuting to school. Carloy, do you have a budget? Like, do you write down everything? All your income, all of your expenses? Are you aware of how you waste money? Yo, what's up, Kanish? Welcome. Ooh, you're hitting me with the landscape today, Kanish. Kanish? Yeah, I don't know if you saw my post on the Red site, but I'm sick. I don't know if you can hear it. I didn't really have a voice yesterday morning, but it's a little bit back now, you know. All right, so I already have money invested in the S&P. Also, I'm in the money market. I'm just curious if you have any other suggestions. So, Ace, my family has been sick for weeks. I've just avoided it, and then yesterday I couldn't avoid it anymore. Sansa, welcome. So, did you know that with the S&P 500, you only have 500 of the U.S.'s biggest stocks? Okay, thanks, Ace. In the U.S., you're missing about 2,800 small and mid-cap stocks. So you're not very diversified. Now, now with the S&P 500 has been the S&P 500 has outperformed the rest of the market for the last like 10 years. Historically, small cap has actually outperformed large cap in the long run. Ah, man, I'm starting to feel the voice stuff already. So, something to consider is adding, if you want diversification and you like the US market, is owning the entire US market and adding small and mid cap, Ace. And you can do that through the extended market index. But small and mid caps are a little more volatile than large caps. So just something to consider there. If I were 17 again, what would you invest in first? So Kanish, yeah, it's definitely more volatile. Small and mid cap are more volatile than large cap historically. Um, so if I were 17, what would I invest in again? I would actually build an emergency fund as a young man. That would be the first thing I do is actually build an emergency fund. And then from there, one thing I recommend to people is if you have extra money, pick a fund like a total stock market index fund or whatever it is. Pick a fund and then throw what you're comfortable having volatile price movements with. So, for example, I have friends I used to work with. They buy one share of the total stock market index fund ETF every paycheck. That's what they're comfortable with. That's how much they're comfortable with. Now, once you've been doing that for a while, you may figure out that you're actually more comfortable than you realized. So you throw more money into it. But I think it's really hard for people to understand their own risk tolerance and the amount of volatility they're comfortable with until they have skin in the game. And by putting a small amount each paycheck into a fund like that, that's a deep question, Kanish. But when you put that much money, even if it goes to zero, it hopefully won't break you, but it's also never gone to zero. But you learn about the volatility and you get comfortable with it. Florenz, welcome. Is buying property still worth it? This is Shaquille O'Neal. What's your stance on debt? Can it be a good thing? I think it can, Ace, but I think most people don't know how to use it, and it's bad for most people, if that makes sense. Most people are going to put themselves in a terrible position using debt. Yo, what's up, Luca? All right, so is buying property still worth it? It could be, Kanish. There's a lot of things that factor into there, and it also depends on how deep you want to go with this question. When you look at your yearly yield on return from investment properties, sometimes it's not as high as just throwing it into the stock market and letting it ride. But it's also a real asset, if that makes sense. It's a real asset. So if the dollar or your currency devalues, you own a real asset that will hopefully keep up with it. So Ace, debt, it's very popular right now. What's up, Malik or Malik? It's very popular right now. You hear it on the internet a lot, using other people's money, and that's that is a thing. But most people are not going to be good using other people's money. Yeah, I mean the INR just keeps falling down. Internal Wait, what is INR? I know IRR, the internal rate of return. You do finance. Thanks for answering my questions. What's your thoughts on BRIC? I think it's very interesting. What sort of specific questions do you have on it? Are you talking about the nations? Are you talking about creating their own currency? Give me a little bit more on that question, Ace. And yeah, I do finance. I'm a CFP professional financial advisor. Oh, Indian rupees. All right. Yeah, so if your currency is getting devalued, the properties are probably costing more. Other people's money, except that other people use my money right now. Yes. I think for most people, it's just better if they use their own money. Hey, what's up, Eric? Is that my boy Eric or somebody different? Totally get that if you're needing to borrow money, probably not a good idea without a plan. Yeah, right. So, like what a lot of people do is they own a property and then they take money out of that property to buy, they refinance, pull money out. They buy another property, wait for that one to appreciate, pull money out, buy another property, right? And they end up with a bunch of income producing securities. And then you live off of the income. You down with OPM? Yeah, you owe me. Do you think the U.S. stock market is still the safest long-term bet? I do. I do believe so. I think it's the most trustworthy market in the world. But But it also depends on what you mean by long term. 100 years? I'm not sure. What are your stance on BRICS since it's backed by an actual asset while our currency isn't? I forgot why they changed it. Well, the U.S. went off the gold standard because essentially they needed more currency. And if you're to the gold standard, you can only have so much currency. You know what I mean? So they wanted to be able to have more currency to put out in the world. So while it's true that we have fiat currency, it is called the petrodollar for a reason. Now, what is BRICS actually backed with? Because every country has gone off the gold standard. There is a reason for that. And the reason is there can only be so much currency again. Now, do I like a currency that's backed by something as opposed to a fiat currency backed by hopes and prayers? Yes. Woo! Yo, what's up, Kanish? Does the J6P mean anything, Kanish? Oh man, Carloy. I usually have 150 pesos, Philippine pesos, and going to school is 20 pesos, and the same going back. Per day, Carloy? No, it doesn't. YouTube randomly gave me this username. All right. I feel that. You know, you could go in and change it. A lot of people don't realize that you can actually go in and change it. There's like a deeper setting where you have a display name and then you have an actual name. Do you believe in index investing like the S&P or picking individual stocks? Me personally, I like index investing. I think when you're buying individual stocks, you're looking for needles in a haystack. Why try to find a needle in a haystack when you could just buy the whole haystack? Now, with that, you do cap your earnings when you own the whole index, right? You cap the amount of money that you can make because you own everything. Whereas when you own an individual stock, it's sort of uncapped. But at the same time, with an index, you're capping the floor. With an individual stock, it could go all the way to zero. Individual stocks, if you like it riskier or want to support a specific company, otherwise index is safest to not lose money long term. Yeah, I would also say it's safest to make money long term as well. A single company can cease to exist. Right? There are multiple examples of companies that were tops in their industry and now don't exist. MCI WorldCom, Blockbuster. I'm sure we could pull up some other ones, you know. How did you react in the 2008 crash? To be fair, Kanish, I had no money, so I did nothing. I was 24, but I had no money to actually do stuff with. Figure that just because you make money, you are not rich if you don't know how to keep it. Yep, that's very true, Luca. Now, if I could go back in 2008, because the one thing I did do, and it wasn't on purpose, is I bought a property. I bought a property during that time. That's like quadrupled in value. So that was nice. But if I were to go back to 2008 with this mind, I would have bought all the stocks. But I'm comfortable with that sort of risk. But I don't. I would be surprised if in my lifetime we see another event like that. And this is also weird to say, because like to say I hope it happens again, I don't, because I know the pain and the trauma that it causes people in the short term, because people don't think long term through those events. But man, if it happened again, I would set myself up for the future. Didn't have money, but I bought a property at that time. Well, hold on. I bought in 2012, Luca. I bought in 2012. So 3 to 4 years later when I had a good job. What car do you have? I think I feel comfortable saying this. I have a minivan. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm looking at buying a SUV as well. Although to be fair, in U.S., a lot of properties are quite cheap, so it's a big country. It depends where. Yeah, this was after the housing crash. Houses fell from like 200,000 to 80,000. I don't really want to say which one, Kanish. Kanish, I know that's kind of weird, but I don't really want people knowing exactly what I drive. Then they can look for me. You know what I mean? I do like Toyotas, though. I will say, I'm not going to say which one, but I'm looking at an old Toyota SUV. Actually, I guess I'll say it because I don't own it. I'm trying to buy a Sequoia. But I also like Honda. They just don't have what I'm looking for in the SUV market. You know what I mean? Bro is the YouTube version of Wolf of Wall Street. What does that mean? But yeah, so this is I don't know how to word this. This is where the it gets interesting uh, because there's a lot of people who won't admit that things are different now for young people. Luca, they won't admit that things are different now. Oh man, well then I guess it makes it obvious. I guess it makes it obvious, Kanishk. Unless I was throwing you off the scent, because I do love Hondas as well. Or are you talking about the SUV, which will for sure 100% be a Toyota SUV? It's one of the most reliable vehicles in the history of vehicles. The old school Sequoias. But yeah, the people act like times aren't different now. But again, I don't think people will have a buying opportunity the way we did in really it was after like 2010, 2011. Again, I bought mine in 2012. I think so, Luca. Why? What's missing? There's auto moderator. So it all depends on what you sent, because there are certain things that YouTube will block without me doing anything, but I don't have any sort of filters on or anything like that. Whoa. That is a pine cone. Look at how big this bad boy is. It's the biggest pine cone I've ever seen. I had to have it. I just said there's benefits to our times too, such as the internet, but it's got its cons too. Yeah, that's true. Although, to be fair, I don't really know what is better today than was in 2012. There was the internet and all them. I used to eat them when I was a kid. Still regret it. Why do you regret it? Are they bad for you? I've heard you could boil pine cones. Give me one sec here. I'm gonna grab my beard oil. No, I was a dumb kid. We all do dumb things when we're a kid. All right, give me one sec. You know what I don't understand? Top 10 humans of all time. I doubt it. We've all done things we regret. We all done things that we would do differently. Ooh, look at that. You guys want to see something wild? That is very true. We are both Luke and Luca. You know, it's really weird. My beard does this separating thing in the middle, like naturally. Like I could rock double here. Look at how this is how big my head actually is. Beard makes it look like I have the biggest head in the world. You know, the Saturday streams are always light, and I'm always surprised that they're so light. Because it's Saturday. But I guess people are doing stuff Saturday. when do you turn off the stream normally? So whenever I don't necessarily have a set end time, but when I start my stream, I go for at least 90 minutes. So it all depends. Right, we had, I think it was earlier this week. Yeah, it was earlier this week. We were going crazy. I ended up going 2.5 hours because chat was popping the way it was popping. If chat's going crazy, I go longer, but I generally shoot for at least 90 minutes. At least 90 minutes. Supposedly the algorithm likes that. And then for whatever reason, after you've been live for like an hour, YouTube starts sending people to your chat more. Or at least, maybe that's not true. But it feels that way because that's when more people start chatting. All right. Also, I have the backgrounds. So this sign right here or right here will be done unless something slows it down by Thursday or Friday of next week. So by next Saturday, I hope to have a real background with lights. Have I shown you guys this? I'm only going to do this for a second because you're not supposed to have these on, but have I shown you the lights I'm going to have? Wait, not a lot of people, or what do you mean by light? Yeah. Less people on Saturday. Hold on a second. All right, so I'm excited about this. I know it doesn't mean much, but check these out. Ooh, Oi. All right, so check that out. They move when I talk. Yeah. You're not supposed to leave these on while they're rolled up, but I'm doing it. But I can also change it. Oh, so they pulse no matter what. But then they can also react to my voice. Down, 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 down. Boo, 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 boo. Bow, bow. Oh, there we go. Nope. Bow. Bow now, bow. Bow, bow now, bow. Boo, boo. Bow, bow. And then I can do solid colors if I want. Whoop. I like when they react to my voice. Why is it tripping like that? I'm not even talking. Anyway, all right, that's it. That's it. I'm going to have that sign behind me. So imagine a much bigger sign than this behind me. Wait. But that'll take up the whole wall. There we go. All right, sorry. I made a custom arcade machine with my dad, and I got one similar one meter. Makes it glow when it's on. Ooh, I like it. What do you like the most about your country? Oh, man. The Constitution, Kanishk. The Constitution. The right to bear arms and freedom of speech is great in USA compared to Germany or UK. You're not allowed to even a knife. Yeah. Going to court for making fun of somebody on the internet. I don't like that. I don't like that. But we're not as free as we should be in the U.S. But I also do like freedom of speech and the right to bear arms, right? The most important thing is that people could say what they want when they want. And then the right to bear arms is to protect that right. It's interesting. What's up, Space Tech? In India, the ruling party does whatever they want and then blame the West for it. Hey, Fire Bulby. Yo, bro, I'm going gambling. Gambling is the ladder to success. You should try it too. I completely disagree. Please do not gamble. If you are going to gamble, just make sure that it's with money that you budgeted for. Yeah, Space Tech. Bro, life's too stress. Have an exam tomorrow. Didn't study. You have an exam on Sunday, Space Tech? Oh, Monday. All right. Why didn't you study, Space Tech? Study right now. Study while hanging out with us. No, no, Kanish. I actually learn a lot in these. Yo, what's up, Augie? Oh man, now Augie's in the casino. Augie, was that you in my other chat? No, you still got it. You still got it, Space Tech. I believe in you. You think living in El Salvador would be possible to consider? I think El Salvador has done a lot to be safe, but I don't know what their requirements are to the BDCs are getting. Yo, what is BDC? No, Augie. No. Although, have you heard? I forgot what the rule is that there are people who will do it up to 7 times. Is that what it's called, Martingale? Not ruled by completely corrupt leaders. Yeah, and it sounds like El Salvador got rid of a lot of the corruption. You know what I mean? Yeah, SD. I've been thinking about that for what 24 hours now, a little bit more. Um, if you believe in the hopium or the copium, that this was a setup, that they always knew this was going to end up like this, but in reality, it's not as good, or it's not good. So I do think it won't change much, though, if that makes sense. I believe in free trade as well. Nah, space. You'll reach an age, like, don't get me wrong, there's certain things that are a challenge, right? Or I guess there are challenging things in life, but life's beautiful, man. Like, think about it. All the things that we complain about in modern society, imagine your ancestors from 300 years ago. They would laugh at you if you considered this life hard. What are your thoughts, SDL, on that, by the way? Life is peaceful when you don't think about the negative things going in the world. Just watch Luke's live stream and chill every evening. But yeah, so it sounds like El Salvador got rid of all the corruption. Maybe not all, but some. Bro, did you hear about that AI summit in New Delhi? No, I did not. What can you tell me about it? Gangotia University messed with my country's reputation. What did they do? Is that the one that was pushing a bunch of fake degrees? I think our society right now is set up in such a way that makes both men and women just plain miserable. I think Christian way of life is really good cure to chaos of life. I agree. I agree with that, Luca. It just we've been. I think we were talking about this in a stream before, but consumerism has taken over everybody. Everybody feels they need stuff, and if they don't have stuff, then their life is not as good, and that's a rough place to be, you know. They presented a Chinese AI dog and labeled them as their 100% Indian product. Oh no. When in reality, people realize that it's just at different stages in life that it's meaningless. Stuff is meaningless. I'm just glad I capped my Roth IRA this year before the decision. I feel like it's going to help the stock market. I mean, it seems to have. Friday pumped. Now, do you think it's going to help because, like, people think tariffs won't be in his effect as much? Because I think he's going to do more, right? Like, he's instituting a 10% tariff worldwide now. Global countries came to organize a global event of AI in India. A university bought a Chinese robot worth 100K, branded them, made in India product, and got exposed. Oof. Steph Curry, he's one of the best of all time, man. One of the best of all time. I don't really watch many sports, Kanish. If I've told this, I apologize, but I used to be the biggest sports guy. I watched all the basketball, all the football, not really much of the baseball, but pro and college. I was a huge NBA fan. And then during the playoffs in 2015, my mom died unexpectedly. Since then, I just haven't cared the same about sports. And I want to move to USA. Education system and healthcare system too corrupt here in India. I mean, people complain about our healthcare system here, space. I don't know what it's like there, but later, Luca. But Americans hate us. Yo, what's up, David? David, can you tell the difference between this stream and my normal streams? I am not on the YouTube software right. I'm sorry, I'm not on the TikTok Live studio right now. I'm multi-streaming. Why do you think they hate you, Kanishk? Or I guess I should say, why do you think we streams always good? All right, so you can't tell the difference really, David? That it's multi-streaming? Not really. All right. I may do a second one on TikTok exclusively after this. This was a test. Like education is bad, bro. So much stress on students in Asia. It's very bad. We are forced to give world's toughest exam to make our good life if we want to choose the field of engineering. Man. Bro, there are underdeveloped places in every country, but the world presents India as a clumsy. We are clean guys. We take shower every time we pray to God. Um, I think every country. Hey, thanks for the like there, David. I think every country thinks every other country is terrible. And I don't mean that literally. Like, I don't think every other country is terrible, but that's what we're made to believe. That your country is the best and every other country is the worst. That's what I think. Honestly, the internet is one way to do it, right? We us talking to each other is one way. I mean, there might be things you don't like about here, space. Now, to be fair, I do think America is the greatest country on the planet. The best country to have ever existed. Well, in India being so big and with such a populace, it's of course going to have everything. You know what I mean? Well, you can say that about almost every country, Space. Almost every country, a tiny, minute part of the population are actually running things. So I think everybody should love their own country. Everyone should feel that their country is the best. In the US, you can't. You can reinvent yourself however you want. Very true. I'm also about to become a US citizen. I'm in the process of applying. Yo, David, congrats, my man. How long have you been working on that? Swan, welcome. Guess how much percentage of people pay tax here? Do you mean like what percentage of the population? Or how much tax people pay? Only 1% pay tax in India compared to America's 97. I don't think it's 97% of people pay tax here. Unless you're including sales tax and all that stuff. But income tax, I think it's only about 50% of the population pays income tax. Maybe 60. I've been a green card holder for 5 years. After 5 years, you can apply for naturalization. Nice. David, have you told me before where you're from? Because not that it matters, but my wife's grandma did the same thing. Okay, Colombia. She was from Mexico. The top 50% of earners pay over 90% of federal income taxes. There we go, SDA. Also, SDA, I was talking when we talked about later, Kanish. Oh, wait. Gotta go. Yeah, God bless you. 1% income tax. Interesting. Uh, so, SDA, we were talking about housing prices, how they come down. It wasn't a 20% across the country, it was in certain places. Honestly, some of my favorite people, David, you might, I don't know how you're going to feel about this, David, and, hopefully we're still friends after this, but some of my favorite people are people who come to America to become citizens because they understand what this country is and they love it. And then there are people that were just born here who don't understand the gift they were given by being born here. Nah, you gotta love your country, Space. That's your people. That's your history. You gotta work on what you can. Now, if you want to come to America because it's awesome, I totally get it. But otherwise, while you're there, you gotta do what you can to try and make it a better place. Kevin is back. In 1960, it was 53%. Today, it's 12. I was watching a video on 30-year-olds that were married and own houses. Yep. That statistic is one of the scariest statistics. Welcome, Scooby. It's crazy how much that has changed. Bro, it won't. You don't know the brutality of 0% civic and corruption of politics. Man, I'm sorry about that. It's a great country to be a citizen of. All the benefits and privileges I get being an American citizen. Yeah. Just love this country. I've reported Kevin to the FBI. Just so they can look into these wild, outlandish claims he makes. That might be controversial. I mean, I don't know how controversial that is today, Space. Don't, you got to remember, you don't hate your country, you hate the corruption. You know what I mean? The FBI work for us? Hey, I got something new out of Kevin. I got something new out of Kevin. This feels like a W stream now. I got something new out of Kevin. I hope the market stays stable due to all these tariffs and Supreme Court stuff. I think it will, David. They already talked about how they're going to counter. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to really change much at all. You gotta lighten up, Kevin. Gotta lighten up, brother. Family trip, maybe? Bro, but stay in five-star hotels. I think local hotels are not that good to live in any country. It all depends. Right. I think, how do I word it? We used to be a very safe country. Safety is important. Is your country checking criminals or not? I guess no tariff dividend. Oh, man. Well, we'll see. Because he said the tariffs are going to continue. And then he increased another tariff or added a new tariff of 10% globally. Yo, what's up, Ted? So we'll see how much actual change happens with it. Hey, thanks, Ted. Hey, Ted, can you tell a difference here? I am multi streaming, so this is a little bit different today. I see that there's no option to do landscape view. Ooh, that is correct. I had to choose either landscape or portrait in Streamlabs. So I chose portrait. But now I don't know if that was the good way to go because it's not popping as much. I do not play Clash of Clans. Wait, let's see here. Yo, like I got pressure to get 90%, but it's hard. Am I missing one of your messages, Mr. SCR SPB? Bro, parents put so much pressure on me to score 90s above score. Hey, let's go. Oh, I wonder if that's why. I wonder if I'm shadow banned on TikTok right now because the YouTube icon. Because I don't think they like it when you advertise you're on multiple things. Yeah, I've heard they don't like it when people speak of other services. That's what I've heard as well. How to stay constantly motivated to study? Well, if you're in India as well, I hear there's a tremendous amount of pressure and maybe not the same possibilities as there is in America to still be successful even without a top college. Piyush, this is what I do. Yeah, I mean, just remember your whole future depends on it. You know, I don't really know how else to put it in there. Wow, 0.1%. So what happens if you don't make it? Do you believe in astrology? Like the fact that I was born with the moon and the stars in a certain position means something? I do not. IIT is Harvard of India. Okay. Man. But your parents have to understand how difficult it is for you not to make it. Okay, so the one thing I will say, I only took high school serious my first 2 years, and I do wish I would have taken it more serious my first 2 years. Sorry, I only took it serious my last 2 years. I wish I would have taken it more serious my first 2 years because your options are significantly better if you take school seriously. Do I believe in flat Earth? This might be my favorite question ever, Estia. I do not. I believe we're on a globe, but I am absolutely fascinated by the flat Earth uh, thought process in the people. Do you? Ooh, do we ever make it to the moon? Or was it faked? I'm going to say I believe we went to the moon, though I understand the skepticism. We apparently did something in the 60s, 70s that we can't replicate now. We supposedly lost all the original footage. They were written over. It's weird stuff. One question flat earthers can never answer: why is the government lying about the shape? That's my biggest one. Because if the government came out tomorrow and said, "Hey, actually, the Earth is flat," most people would be like, "Okay, I still have to go to my job tomorrow." Like I don't get it. Now, the one thing I've heard, Ted, is that the reason they say it's a globe instead of flat is, I guess, if it's flat, they think it helps prove God exists. Let's see here. Sir, how to get financial freedom in next 5 years alongside job? So in 5 years, it'd be tough. I don't know what your situation is, But you need a budget, first of all. You got to cut out all the things you're wasting money on. And most of the things you spend money on outside of food, shelter, and water, and clothes, other stuff like that, is a waste. So, and then save. There was a point I was saving about 60% of my income. Do I believe Trump is good? Like he is a good president? Um, I think it's too early to tell. I feel like the first, maybe I'm wrong about this, but the uh, first run from 17 to 21 was easier to tell that he was doing a good job. Now it's tough to see that he's doing a good job or not. I will say, I don't think he's doing a bad job. Bro, Indian probes image the lander of Apollo and the flag top. It's not a fake. All right. I just don't get why we wouldn't have had a moon base in the 80s or 90s. Yeah, so that's also weird to me, Esdia. I think they say, like, there's no point. There's nothing on the moon. Why would we create a base? It's like, well, I don't know. Strategic advantage. The Big 26. Tell me more. What is the Big 26? Yo, what's up, Pedro? Welcome, brother. Let's see here. All right. What could be a good investment I can make, like any sector you are viewing as an asset class? So I don't really look at different sectors, Piyush. My strategy is to buy everything at an allocation that makes sense based on your time horizon and risk tolerance. But me personally, I own everything and own them forever. Are they delayed? How long is the delay? The next person that types anything, I'm gonna say when I see your message. How are things going, Pedro? Have you still been streaming? Hi, right now. So when you hear me say hi, that's how long the delay is. Give me one sec here. We're back. NASA has a crazy budget. I forgot how much they spend per day, but it's a crazy budget. Oh. I think it's hard to fully judge a presidency based on their current, or sorry, it's hard to judge them while they're in it. Government always gives us one best thing. Make a guess. I don't. I'm afraid to say it. common mistrust. Where'd he go? Sorry, I was putting my cup in the sink. I have a thing where I don't like an empty cup sitting at my desk, as weird as that is. Even though I have a full cup right here. Wait, if they give us that, that's not the best thing. Because for real, India's government is kind of same. Most government is like upper levels are okay, but they have image. Lower levels like governors don't have to cover, so they can get corrupt. Interesting. I can't say I know enough about Modi, Space Tech. He seems okay, but that's just, me spitballing. I know he tweets a lot. For some reason, I get to see pretty much all his tweets on my timeline. I don't know what they're doing. I have no beard. If I have to grow as same size like you, will I get financial freedom first, or same size beard like you? This is just what I got. I bet you have a full head of hair, though, don't you, Piyush? Don't you? I know you do. I know you do. It's probably beautiful, and it flows. What's up, Yuzi? Do you think Trump plays Fortnite at 10 p.m. every weekend? Maybe. Probably not, though. There is a mobile version. Oh, excuse me, guys. So that's interesting. I can change my topic on TikTok through this, but I can't do it when I'm live on Studio. It's very interesting. I would be shocked if Trump even knows what Fortnite even is. His grandkids have probably told him, no? Or his son, I guess. Bear and his young kid. Watch it from Asia, bro. I like it. What part of Asia, Yuzi? I seem to get a lot of people from India. Nepal? Hey, all right. I don't know that I've had anybody from Nepal here before. Ted, were you the one who told me you were either vegetarian or vegan? If you don't want to talk about it, that's okay. Yeah, I am living in India, but I'm from Nepal. I like it. What took you from Nepal to India? Don't you think Trump is moving all the markets like crazy? I mean, the markets have been up since he's been in office, unless you're talking about something different. My father is army officer in India. All right. How often do you go back to Nepal? How do you think AI impact on economy and employment? That's a really good question. I think there will be some positive effects. I think there will be some negative effects. I don't know for certain, but they say AI is going to take over almost everything. And if that's the case, I don't think that's good for people. In Asia, which countries people watch you most? India. Yeah, India, I think, is where most of it comes from. But yeah, I think if people don't have to work, that will not be good for humans. I think there's something about having a purpose and doing something every day that helps humans. Bro made a YouTube channel and I'm good in editing. I gained 6,000 subs in 1 week. Hey, that's pretty good, Yuzi. Congrats, my brother. I've been doing this for a while. I'm at about 1,100. You watch football? Humans want purpose? Agreed. Everyone will grow veggies on home, as Elon said. What is what is grow veggies? Football, like American football. I don't really watch much sports, usually. Vegetables. Yeah, but see, like even that, it's only like 10 minutes of work a day to grow them. It's not actual work. I do know Ronaldo, yes. For how long you hold your investments? Forever, Piyush. Forever. I essentially buy things that I plan to never sell until I need the money to live. I've seen an AI robot that can mow lawns, clean, do laundry, dishes, and cook, and I'll be happy. It would free up so much time. Yes. Taking care of mundane chores? Yes. That would be awesome. Piyush? Yes. Elon is saying 10 to 20 years till we have that, so you guess I'll be fine in retirement. That's true. I do wonder what retirement will look like without chores. Because really, when I think about an ideal day, it has something to do with my kids, hanging out with them. But they're going to be adults, grown, doing their own thing. So it's going to be like me and my wife. We wake up, and I think I want to hike and lift weights every day, even as an old man. And then from there, I don't know, go to all you can eat steak places. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. How does life feel after financial freedom? It's free, Piyush. I don't know how to describe it. I can do what I want when I want. I stream because, hey, what's up, Kanish? I stream and do this because I want to help people get better with their money. That's what I feel my life's purpose is. But I don't have to do it, and it's a good feeling. Like, I didn't stream yesterday because I was sick. I don't know if you can tell, I'm actually still sick, but I felt good enough to stream. Did you see Elon saying that saving for retirement is pointless if you're planning on retiring in 20 years or more? Yeah, and I feel like that's going to hurt a lot of people, Estia. It's hard to imagine a world where I'm not going to need money. Like, if I want to go eat at Fogo de Chao, is the AI revolution going to let me do that? Like, I might take care of my basic needs somehow. But am I going to be able to go to the places I want to go? What about traveling? What if I want to buy an RV and travel the United States? Am I going to be able to do that? I don't know. Robot Chef, you can get it at home? No. There's something beautiful about going to a place like Fogo, man. Or Korean barbecue. There's something about it. I will double my retirement funds after this statement. Okay. What statement? Tell me. Robot Korean. All right, what about the RV thing? AI travel agency. Robert, is he the rich dad poor dad guy? The use other people's money guy? Yeah. I don't know enough about him. I do worry that people like him make people do things that they don't understand and can actually hurt their finances. I don't know. I can't imagine a world without work and money. Agreed. That's how I feel, Estia. Like, if I could just go to the fanciest restaurants all the time, right? Essentially, the whole world is a buffet. I walk in and I want to. I'm like, I need an RV, and that just is given to me, right? Or their version of the beach. Do you believe in taking leverage? I personally do not, but I'm not necessarily opposed to other people doing it if they can do it responsibly. I just think a lot of people do things under the current settings, and if something goes south or something goes wrong, they're not ready for that, and it ends up financially crippling them. So many posts on Reddit of people losing hundreds of thousands taking leverage on crypto. Oof. Yep. Leverage makes things super scary, right? They all believed crypto was going to the moon sooner rather than later, and it may still. But how long can you hold that balance where you owe people hundreds of thousands of dollars? A lot of that means you're going to end up selling positions you maybe did not want to sell. How to grow in life by mentally, like being smart or mature. Hey, Mayan, listen to people who have lived before you and have learned things. But to be straight, a lot of the things you're going to go through in life are live and learn. That's one of the beauties of life. Try to avoid the colossal mistakes, right? Don't go to jail for anything goofy. But a lot of life is live and learn. Don't get married. Don't buy her a car and waste 40K. I'm not quite there. I do understand why you would be anti-marriage. I do. But marriage can also be beautiful. Yeah, I totally feel that. If something happens between me and my wife, I will never get married again. Ever. All right, guys. We might go ahead and end the YouTube stream, but I am going to probably get the TikTok stream restarted here. Saturday is a little bit slower, but I'm going to give it a try over there as well. How to avoid going bald? Impossible, Kumar. You could go and get a Turkish hair transplant. All right, guys. I'm gonna call that one a day. I'll be back Tuesday at the latest. I might do a little surprise Monday stream. We gotta see. But if you care, I'll be gaming tonight on the Purple app. It's streaming there. But I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I look forward to talking to you next week, guys. Have a good one.